Okay, so then I press on the little notebook right here, and it gives me the directions. Okay, read the story 3 times, retell the key details to your partner. And if you don't have your partner, you know, you have your parent, your brother, your sister, you can share the key details. Then write your wow and your question mark, your annotating. Okay, complete the blanks, draw and color your drawing. Okay, and then send me the picture. Okay, so we're going to get started, okay, with the title, and it's a comet. A comet is a large chunk of ice and dust that orbits or goes around the sun. It is like a big, dirty snowball. Comets travel far out into the solar system and then move back towards the sun. A comet has a main core called a nucleus. The nucleus is made of ice, dust, gas, and rock. It can be several miles wide. When a comet gets close to the sun, some of the dust and gas form a long, glowing tail. Okay. So now let's read it together. Okay. So we're starting with the title. Okay. Let's go ahead and read the title. Let's read it together. Okay, so we were listening for key details. What were we listening for? Okay, the key details. Okay, so we are going to be, okay, the last read, okay. Okay, so we're going to do our annotating also after we discuss the key details with our partner. Okay, so if you have someone next to you, you can share one of the key details or 2 key details. If you have no one, like Ms. Morales, pretend you have a partner and think about your key detail and share with your partner. And then I'm going to call on one of you so that you can share a key detail. Okay, so we will be going to the annotating. And remember, this week, okay, we're learning the OR sound like in corn. Okay, so you get your tools. That's orange. Okay, so we're going to be circling all of the words that have the OR sound like corn. Okay, so we start our reading again. It's a comet. A comet is a large chunk of ice and dust that orbits or goes around the sun. It is like a big, dirty snowball. So you see, we remember we have to read it again. And on our third read, that's when we're circling and annotating. Okay. Comets travel far out into the solar system and then move back towards the sun. A comet has a main core called a nucleus. The nucleus is made of ice, dust, gas, and rock. It can be several miles wide. When a comet gets close to the sun, some of the dust and gas form a long glowing tail. Okay. So I circled all of the or words. Okay. Now I go to my next annotation, underline a 4-letter word that is the opposite of be still. So I need to change my color to purple. Okay. So a 4-letter word that is the opposite of be still. Remember, the opposite, it's like boy, girl, night, day, sun, moon. Okay, that's opposite. Okay, so what's the opposite to be still? And it's a 4-letter word. Is it on page 18 or page 19? Okay, it's on page 18, and I underline the word move. That's the opposite of being still. Okay. Now the last one, put a star next to an important detail from the text. I got confused. My underlining was blue. Where's my eraser? Let me erase it because move needs to be blue. And now my key detail, it's purple. Okay, so think of your key detail when you're annotating. Remember to click there. Okay, when you're annotating, think of your detail. And my key detail is this one. It could be, it can be several miles wide. That means it could be very, very big. Okay. Now I want you to think, remember our directions was write your wow and your question, okay? So I want you to think, okay, which one is your wow? Work again? Why? Because when I started, I forgot to click the paintbrush and the hammer. Okay, so before you start doing any work in your benchmark, you have to click up here on the hammer and the paintbrush. Do you see it? Raise your hand if you see the hammer and the paintbrush. Okay, you click it there. Okay, then you go to the cloud. You see the cloud over here? Okay, the cloud with the arrow, and it says save. That means it will save the work that I did. Okay, so always remember, before you start doing your work on benchmark, click on the hammer and the paintbrush. That way the same mistake doesn't happen to you like right now Ms. Morales that she forgot. Okay, now let's go back and let's look at the illustration that we have right there. Okay, this is a comet. Okay, it's a comet, and it says it has a long glowing tail. Okay, so this is the long glowing tail right there. Okay, that's the long glowing tail. And glow means that it's like light. You can see it in the dark. Okay, so this right here is the comet, all of this right here, but this is the tail right there. Okay. So now get your little composition book, because I will be sharing with you, okay, what we are going to be doing to answer these questions in our composition book. Okay. Up. And you're going to write the title. Okay. You're going to write, it's a comet. Go ahead and write it. Copy the title. So next to the title, you always write the title, for 2320. Okay. And we're going to be writing the key details of our share reading. It's a comet. Your pencil, skip a line. Okay. And now you're going to copy the red words. Comets are, okay, the red word only. The red words, only the red words. Comets are, okay. And what are comets? Remember the key detail that Dylan shared with us? Okay, let me read it again for you. You're only copying the red words right now. Okay, a comet is a large chunk of ice and dust that orbits or goes around the sun. So comets are, what are we going to write? A large chunk of ice and dust. Okay, so that's what we are going to write. Large chunk of, okay, so comets are a large chunk of ice. So finish writing that so I could move to the other line. And dust. Okay, comets are a large chunk of ice and dust. Okay, you have to finish filling in that blank. That's part of your homework today. Drawing the picture and coloring the picture. Okay, You do not need to be writing the words with a crayon like Miss Morales. Remember, I write it like that. That way you can see it better. You're always copying and writing with your pencil. Unless I tell you to use a crayon, then you use a crayon for writing. Okay, but the writing, it's always with a pencil. Okay, so Comets can. I send the copy of the share books to your parents so you could see them in Class Dojo. I send them on Monday or Sunday. Okay, if I want to write here, if I write it with the pen, it will be kind of messy, okay? Because it's really difficult to be writing on the laptop, okay? So what I recommend is the little journal for you to answer this. So now I'm done here. Remember when I started? I had to click on the hammer and the paintbrush so that I could save all of my work. Then I press save, okay? Then I press over here on the corner. Do you see where it's the blue square that says done? That starts with the capital D. Then I press there and my work is saved, okay? If I go back to my shared reading, okay, so this is what I'm going to be showing your parents today. That way you can do your work there, okay? You see how my work was saved? Raise your hand if you could see how my work was saved there, my annotating, okay? So if you can go on to benchmark, then do it on benchmark, okay? Remember, the paintbrush and the hammer, then you go to the cloud, you save, and then you go to the blue square when you finish your work and press done, okay? So you can read the little story here, or right now I will show you what I sent your parents so that you could read it. That way you can finish writing the answer to the blue one. Comets can